Jake, how you doing, man?
What's going on, man? How are you guys? How are you?
Good,
First time
good.
caller, long time listener.
Awesome. Right on, man. Right on. Yeah, we love reading your DD here at the PP Show, man. You sprung up like a little weed, man. You've just been growing ever since, man. So love the due diligence you've been doing. Love the deep dives, man. So welcome to the show tonight, man. It's great to see you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. It's funny because I realized I embarrassed myself publicly not knowing how to do any of this with the Reddit thing or whatever. But
Yeah.
about 45 minutes ago, for the first time, I used Reddit on the actual website, and it's way better. So I think we'll be good. But
Cool. Cool.
I gotta say the DD thing, I really appreciate it, but it's come with a lot of attention, and I've never got so many Reddit cares messages like for being suicidal every day, and
Yeah,
then I
those are
get like
fucking trolls, man. Trolls big time. Yeah.
and I get a lot of people messaging me saying that I'm taking too long to respond to them too, and basically saying that I should go crawl back into a hole or whatever. But hey,
Wow. What the fuck, man?
yeah,
Honestly, what I say is fuck those people, man. Fuck them. A lot of people are going to talk shit because again, your posts are getting some attention, so it comes with what happens, usually.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I sent a message to Edwin this morning saying because I've put off putting out the second part of my Ryan Cohen info that I've gathered because it's done, but I've had a lot of doubts because I said that I've kind of taken on quite a responsibility that I don't want to walk people off the plank, so
Sure.
I sent a lot of messages back and forth saying, hey, do you think this is good and this is okay?
Yeah.
And then, as the forecasting would have it, this docket comes out this afternoon, and I just start vomiting all over the subs with little tidbits. But it's
Yeah.
been quite a ride since the afternoon.
Yeah, it has. If you don't mind me asking, Jake, when did you first take your position in Bed Bath and Beyond?
So I first jumped in. So my story goes back to GME. So I bought my first GME share on the 12th of January of 2021.
Right on.
I've been on that wild ride since. And then, naturally, when I saw the letter to the board from RC in March, that kind of caught my interest, and I sat around and watched it. I jumped in, I think, the end of May or the beginning of June. And then I was in, like, through all the August mayhem. I kind of hung around because I thought, it felt like it was just the beginning.
Yeah.
Um, and I've kind of just sat around since. I haven't left, and just kind of been accumulating the entire time. I'm quietly just picking away at it. I think I'm at about 76,000 shares now, and
Right on, man.
I've got 10 option contracts I'm still hanging on to. All the
Cool.
other ones have expired, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
making up for it wherever I can.
Cool. What's the cost basis, man, if you don't mind me asking?
So I'm spread out between so in my one account at the bank, I'm at $1.38. And another brokerage on IBKR, I'm at I think $3. And then my smallest one, I got a really good one. I got in at 12 cents. So I don't think that one I'm ever going to sell just to hang on to that cool little.
Yeah, yeah, that's a killer fucking deal, man.
Yeah.
So in terms of and here at the show, we're open to all ideas. Like me personally, I don't DRS, and neither is ABC or a couple of the guys here. Sometimes people DRS their shares. I'm just curious, do you DRS at all? Are you DRS
I
or are you
do.
full
So with
non-broker?
with my GME, I DRS absolutely. I'm a little
Mhm.
bit, like I said, I'm spread out between three brokerages. So the one where I am, I took half of what I had there to DRS, and I sent them out as feelers just to see how it'll happen because they've been down for so long, and I don't really know how it'll play out. And I'm in Canada too, so I had to do a lot of weird tax
Cool.
forms for a computer share that I
Yeah.
that I had no idea about.
Right.
So we'll see. I sent off some scouts, as we used to call it back in the day when DRS first became a thing, and we'll
Mhm.
see what happens to them. But I would say I'm about 25% DRS for the Bobby shares.
Excellent, man. Excellent. So I'm curious, what do you think, man, about this docket that came out today? There's a lot of there's mention of carve out. There's mention of Knowles. We have a few other mentions throughout the docket. A lot of hours build. What are you thinking, man? As we're coming to the end of this play here, what's going through your mind? Some of the thoughts that you're having with seeing this docket.
Well, I've got a lot of thoughts, but if I can preface that by saying something else. So, you know how I said
Yeah.
that people are on my ass about not responding quickly enough? I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought up the dockets because I printed all of them in case somebody was going to call me out for not being able to respond quickly enough.
Right on.
So,
You came prepared tonight. Right on.
yeah. So I have,
Yeah.
I had this week has been a bit of a mixed bag. I think it's quite evident what's happening with the stock price is it's kind of going the way of GME as well. It's just kind of they're kind of just trying to starve people out, bore people out, kind of thing.
Hmm.
But the nice thing, I think I've said it since the beginning. The first time I think I said it was sometime in mid-May that I think bankruptcy was the best thing that happened to this stock. I think had this hung around on the Nasdaq, this could have dragged on for God knows how long, right? But the benefit we have here is that there's a proceeding that's got, bankruptcy cases a lot of the time do take a long time, but at least there's some sort of officiating and a referee around the thing that'll keep it moving, right? So my thoughts were my thoughts have always been pretty positive. Like I said, with the DD thing, my favorite thing to say is that I qualify myself as an amateur opinionator because I don't want to be saying anything that I don't know, right? Because I'm not like a financial advisor or anything. I work in healthcare, but I can read and I can make interpretations based on what's written there that I kind of feel aren't too far off. Like they seem plausible to me, and I'm pretty open and honest about it. Um, and you know what? Then this docket came out, and I find that the monthly statement ones are often the most telling. And this one had a lot of juice in it. I think there's a lot of things that verified, a lot of points that have been speculated but have been highly, highly contested by folks that are kind of more bearish. And at the end of the day, we're both speculating because no one has all of the information. But I
Right.
really like that. There's a lot of, of course, this is backdated from June 1st to 30th, right? But it's nice to know that even as far as 2 months after, they're still talking about things like carve outs and talking about the benefits of the NOLs. Like you mentioned earlier, the amount of hours that they're spending trying to discuss this stuff. Yeah, a lot of folks say that in bankruptcy you're going to try to evaluate all your options, but I really feel like even if the judge doesn't have a fiduciary responsibility to anybody, you can't just go on and carve out the corpse, right? If there's no prospect, why are you billing $2 million for all these hours working to try to make something happen, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you make a great point. Emotional damage with the two. Jake, can you get Michael a job?
Yeah. Actually, that's a good question, to be honest.
Right.
Hopefully we
Michael, where are
moon
you
and I
at?
won't
Are
be.
you Canadian or American or whereabouts are you? I
I'm
don't mean to I
American.
don't want to make you share too much, but
No, I mean, I graduated med school, but I didn't get into residency. So it was like kind of funny. And everything you just said about like, you're like, well, I know how to read. And, so I was like, yeah, that's me.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a mixed bag, man. It can be really hard, but we'll talk about it after. I've got a
Yeah.
absolutely we can talk about it. But
Right on.
if I can say something about the docket, so
Yeah, yeah, man. Take as much time as you need. You sit into with us as long as you need. Man, we're not in any rush. So yeah.
no, dude, listen, I write my writing is long enough, and honestly, listening. So it's funny because most of the time I just listen to the show on the drive, so the
Yeah.
morning after. So I've got it playing through Bluetooth.
Yeah, yeah.
So it wasn't until I think maybe 3 or 4 nights ago that I watched it for the first time and caught the mushroom stamp thing because I've only heard it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God. I
It's
think I
fucking
almost peed
hilarious.
myself. I laughed so hard. But
Yeah.
I won't
Yeah.
bore everybody with too much talking, but I have a couple interesting points. I
Yeah.
want to highlight something that I just discovered a moment ago to kind of set the stage for what I want to talk about here. So I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys are using Windows or Mac. Now, if I'm going into the docket, can you still see me on the camera?
Yes, yeah, yeah. We can see you
Okay,
still on the
cool.
camera there. And
So
we can
if
also pull up dockets as well. Any dockets that you want us to pull up on screen while people are explaining as well. Or you can stay on the restream screen and we can also go to whichever section of dockets. However you want to do it is easiest.
Okay, so if somebody wants to share, I don't know if this will show up on Windows. So just for the sake of not making me sound like a loony, if anybody has a Mac and can share their screen and can go to the docket,
Yeah. So Travis has which docket do you need up?
1873, this
Okay.
afternoon's.
All right. Yeah. We have it up on the screen right now for you right there.
Okay, so I use preview, and so I'm going to go in the top right for the search bar if you want to search contents in the docket. And this is initially how I was. So how I initially approached this was once I saw, because the cool thing that I noticed was, and I promise I'm not going on a tangent. When they
No,
outline the
no,
M and
man.
A lawyers,
Yeah.
they outline the M&A lawyers, and then they outline who did what and how many hours, right?
Hmm.
So initially, what I was doing was I was searching for these folks, and I was finding them along the way, and then I was trying to cross-reference them of when they're talking to the other ones,
Hmm.
and that's kind of where I came up with the majority of the valuable information. But then here's what I did after. If you want to do this, Travis, at the same time with me,
Yeah.
uh, actually, you know what? Can I just say something that's going to be hilarious? Actually, probably not hilarious. I
Let's
just
hear it.
love how Travis speaks. He's such like a cool American.
Yeah,
Like
Travis
he has
is
such
awesome,
an
man.
American accent. It's so cool, man. When
Yeah.
I hear you talking, it's just fun.
He's a cool
Okay,
dude.
so if you go to the search bar, and
I have find open. Yeah, mine's
if you
going to be a
type
little bit
M
different. But
and
go ahead.
A
M and A. All right.
on my screen, it says that I have 222 results, but all of them are page not found. That's cool, eh?
I only show 8.
Okay, so can I screen share my screen?
Yeah.
This is why
Yeah.
this is why I
So
asked if you had a Mac.
yeah, so there's a button down there at the bottom where it says share screen on your screen.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, and you can click that, and then anything that's windowed. So yeah, do you want us to pull this up?
So can you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, it's on the screen now.
All
Okay,
right.
so if I go M&A, you see that?
Mm-hmm.
But all of it after the actual attorneys is page not found. So this is how they're redacting the documents. They're not
Oh,
actually
I see.
making a copy of the document without the information.
Uh-huh.
Whoever's making the document is editing out the information. So it is in someone's version, and there's the publicly disseminated version.
Mm.
And it's everywhere. And then it's all here. You see description of legal services.
This is what I was talking about. They
What
have
the
to go in, they
fuck?
have to pull out the confidential
Crazy, right?
stuff.
Look how many there are.
Wow.
What do you get for carve out?
I just get the one that I posted.
Just the one?
So, yeah. Well, hold on. Let me make sure, actually. Am I still sharing the screen?
Yeah, it's still shared for everybody.
So just for dramatic effect, I'm just going to go all the way down, okay?
Someone said ABC's muted. There we go.
Yeah, they probably saw my lips going, Jesus Christ, I can't believe they're hiding
And
stuff.
then look, the ones I've highlighted where I posted from. So I have okay, so this will be a good little interlude if I can go on a 10-second tangent. So I really appreciate Edwin and Life and Region and a lot of folks that have been posting that kind of gave me the stepping stones to kind of start where I was. And this name was one of that Edwin brought onto my attention as the lady affiliated with L. Catterton and Dragonfly. So she was one of the first ones that I searched. And look, on this page where I made a few of my posts, excitedly, you have the M&A redacted. Confidentiality, the M&A is redacted. Again, over here with Olivia and all of the other M&A lawyers, it's redacted. Wild, right?
Wow.
So that's kind of interesting, right? So the idea, so I really kind of felt pretty good about this afternoon. I was flying high because a lot of people gave me a lot of flack about my post about the NDAs, saying that they're either not materially important or you can't hide court information. At the end of the day, like I said, we're all speculating. It's not like anybody knows any better than anybody else. So I'm not gonna say that they're idiots, but it felt very good to be vindicated in a sense that that the NDAs are, that there is information out there that's not being shared. So carve out, I only get one result, which is the one that,
let's type in supplemental plan and let's see if there's anything.
Supplemental?
So this takes me. I'm glad you mentioned carve out because this name here, if I can have the screen for another moment.
You have it.
Shoot, hold on.
Search Ryan Cohen.
Yeah, no, I tried. Shoot, hold on. Let me. Can you give me 5 seconds?
Yeah, man. No rush or anything, man.
Talking to all my Reddit friends.
No worries, man.
Okay, so this name, Allison Azarloza, I didn't think anything of it until later. If you can go, actually, I'll just go to page 128. So I'll go back out here. Actually, I'll make this legible for people on the screens.
Yeah,
so remember this name, Allison Azarloza, and then I'm going to go to page 128. So then just a little bit further here. So let's say whereabouts am I now? 113. So let's go here, 117. Okay, so a very interesting thing I noticed on this page is, look at this. This guy who billed 89 and a half hours, who's an M&A lawyer. Mm-hmm. Look at that.
Review and correspond with A. Arzaloza rebidder NDA.
So this confirms definitively that there is a bidder under NDA. If that's not obvious. Is or was on June 16th, there was a bidder that was under NDA that was not presented publicly or in the court. right? And then you know, so this kind of falls into the thinking of here, and I can turn out. I think that was. Let me refer to my paper notes. Yeah, that's all I wanted to share. So I can get out of here.
Here,
How
I'll
do I?
minimize. If you want to stop sharing, just I can get rid of it for you
Yeah.
then.
Okay. Sure.
There you go.
Please.
Yeah.
So you know that kind of ties in a lot of things. How you know you said that you couldn't have any sort of bidder that was not presented in the auction, or why was the auction canceled? And that was a great post by Travis identifying the qualifiers for a qualified bid.
Mhm.
But it's pretty remarkable that all these things, you know, that we have been speculating and have wondered, you know, is it possible? Is it probable? Are we, you know, snorting fairy dust? Slowly, it's kind of being, you know, validated and vindicated in a lot of ways. And you know, so I'm kind of going to enjoy going through this docket in more detail because it's what 328 pages, and I'm going to see how many of these
Yeah.
lawyers I can cross-reference as speaking with one another,
Mhm.
and see what they're doing.
Right.
And see if there's any commonalities or how much you know they are working on together. I noticed earlier. I don't know if now I don't know if it's Alex or Alex,
I
but
think
there's a
it's
lot of
Alex. I think it's Alex Partners is how you say
okay.
it.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of correspondence with them as well, eh? I don't know if you noticed how
Yes.
many
Yep.
times
It
they're mentioned.
showed up 292 times.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah,
And they're
that's
not even
incredible.
mentioned in the docket title at all, which is interesting. But yet they almost, they're mentioned that many times as well. So I
Yeah,
found that pretty
wild, right?
interesting.
So
Yeah.
that I found that you know that's pretty interesting. And then the other thing that I noticed is how many times the word confidential and privilege was used in the context of speaking with attorneys having to edit their fee statements. So that was kind of cool. I really liked that. There was some attorneys that were doing upwards of 5, 6, or 7 hours. One I think was 8.5. And I should actually start with that name. I can't remember off the top of my head who that was, but they're doing a lot of merger and acquisition activity potentially, or at least we don't have to speculate. They're doing a lot of activity that they're not disclosing, right? Um, so yeah. Hold on. Can you guys see me? Because I got a red message that my screen is not working.
I
No,
got
yeah,
the red message too.
Okay,
and
it said I have to reload, but we're good.
You're fine.
Yeah,
So
no, yeah,
so
you
it's
guys,
very
you
interesting
guys
in
are
telling
over.
to me that there's a lot of people on here that have to either redact or edit or remove out what they're doing when they're reporting it for public information, right? So that I thought was really interesting too, and it really goes to the point of the NDA having some sort of meaningful involvement, and like I said, it was pretty enjoyable to read that and see it.
Right. What are your thoughts, Jake, with RC being listed as a creditor, a debtor, and also an interested party? I mean, what are your
Oh, I
thoughts
knew you were
there?
going to go there. So okay. So yeah. So these posts that I'm doing. So actually, you know, this docket actually gives me a lot of confidence to be able to post what I wanted to do without having to feel like I'm being too speculatory.
Sure.
So there are a few interesting points, and I made a notepad here so that I can make sure I don't forget any of them. But there's a lot of coincidences. One of them, so I'll give you a bit of a teaser for part 2 of my post,
All
is
right.
that B. Riley, or a subsidiary of B. Riley, is one
Mhm.
of the dip lenders. So B. Riley is intimately involved in this trade, and we don't know in how many ways, but they have a subsidiary called Whitehawk, and they are one of the signatures on the bottom of the
Get out of
8K.
here.
Really?
Yeah. So
Which fucking
Whitehawk. Actually, can I
docket?
hold on? Can I share my screen
Yeah,
again?
yeah, yeah. Let's
I-
fucking see this shit.
Actually, hold on.
I think I had that up yesterday where it showed there's like 10 different entities part of the dip lending. You got Sixth
Yeah.
Street Specialty
I got it pulled up
Lending.
here.
And yeah, Whitehawk was one of them,
Here we go.
followed by.
So we have a few Sixth Streets, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This is a subsidiary of Sixth Street as well.
Yep. We were talking
And
about
these
Tal the
guys
other day.
also have a sister company called Top 4,
Mhm.
Top 4 Talents. And then I'll give another little teaser. This is a very important player, but I won't say why because then nobody will read what my post is going to be. But this is a very interesting player,
All
Canadian player actually.
Mhm.
And then if we keep going down here, these guys
Yeah, there's Whitehawk.
are a subsidiary of B. Riley. And this guy actually used to work for B. Riley. And he went off on his own and started Whitehawk. Then, where's the other one? And then this guy, no, is this the one that says Whitehawk? Let me see. Yeah, so here we go. So this one says we provided, they signed an agreement with White Hawk Capital Partners to produce pursuant to investment advisory services. So that's this is a 10K, I believe. Yeah, that's the 10K. And then there's also the 8K, which, where was it? This one,
Blowing
right?
my fucking mind, man.
So look at this one. So this one's actually very interesting. See, this is how many people I'm replying to on Reddit, and these fuckers say that I don't reply to anybody. Each one of these windows is one of these guys that has called me out on not replying to them.
Holy shit.
So here we go. So this is a Form ADV, which I learned is, I can't remember the abbreviation at the moment, but you make it when you want to, fuck. Now somebody has to look it up. I can't
Here,
remember.
I'll
You make it
Google
when
it
you
real
want to
quick.
declare something.
Form ADV. Form ADV is the uniform form used by investment advisors to register with both the SEC and state security authorities, is what it says. The form consists of two parts, both of which are available to public on the SEC's Investment Advisor Public Disclosure IAPD website.
Yeah, so here we go. So look, so this is a Form ADV submitted by B. Riley.
Okay.
And then, and there they are.
Wow.
And they are one of the partners on the DIP loan.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that, Travis? Are you muted?
Muted as well, yeah. I'm intrigued.
So that's a little bit of a teaser of my of the second part of what I'm doing. It's mostly about lenders and how they could be connected to him potentially.
Mm-hmm.
And so in doing that, I went down a lot of other rabbit holes regarding these lenders that gave me a lot of information, and it was very, very interesting because I had no idea there was so many underparties to the to 6th Street, right? Like I had attributed everything to 6th Street. And hold on, I have a screenshot that I was going to add to that post that I'm going to find, and if I do, I'm going to take the screen again if you don't mind.
Yeah, so of course, man. Sun Devil Rogue with the $20. Pull up Doc 1716, bottom page 74 with Jake. Asset sale transaction. That's what I wanted to highlight from the plan earlier, but in a bad reception. As Sal says, holding out of sheer conviction, LFG, the deal is done. All right, we'll take a look at that right after we see what that's
guys. Can I ask a huge favor?
Page 74.
Can I
yes, sir.
This up on my screen? This is what I wanted to just show you guys. That these are the actual lenders of the DIP loan.
It's pulled up right now for everybody.
6th Street, right?
Can you zoom in a bit to that, Jake?
Sure. Actually, yeah. You got her.
Yeah.
This is what I was referring to. It has like those 10 lenders right there. White Hawk was one of them. Caledine, actually, believe it or not, has like 6th Street or TSLX is their largest investment in their portfolio. So they have a big relationship with 6th Street. I think it's like 7% of their portfolio. So I was looking into a lot of these, entities yesterday, day before. So
yeah, very cool. Okay, can I ask a huge favor? I'm just gonna can I mute out for like 2 seconds to call my wife back, and I'm gonna
yeah. I'll put you backstage, so you're all good. All right.
Thank you.
All right, he's backstage now, dude. That's some fucking mind blowing shit, man.
But I also I hate that, or I like that he can see the M&A stuff when he looks for it, but I only get like 8.
He's in preview. He said preview mode. Yeah.
I wonder how I look in preview mode. I don't even know.
Real quick, we got a tip here from Thunderous Queefer. Plur, where are you? Jake taking over. Right on, man. Yeah, Jake has some good shit, man, tonight. Wow. Someone says, PP translate phobe the masses. Yeah, right on. Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, to actually see like who's involved with 6th Street, because again, we and I need to ask Jake as well about those bonds, right? We just saw 6th Street fucking with those 300 million in 2028 bonds as of recently. So that was early as August 7th. So it's fucking interesting, man, for sure. It's just like, there's been so much shit, man, that has happened. Like I've been in this place since August of last year, and man, the goddamn tinfoil we've run into, the fucking speculation, the ideas, everything, man, has just been totally fucking nuts, man, up into this point. So glad to finally see the place starting to come to an end, so we can finally figure out what's going on with equity and MA and stuff like that. But what do you fellas think? ABC, Travis, Michael, let's hear your guys' input. Whoever wants to comment on it.
I'm sorry, man. I'm just reading in the background here. I'm starting to see that on January 1st, B. Riley Wealth Management announced that, ICANN Enterprises announced that it has been bought by B. Riley Wealth Management. This acquisition will further strengthen ICANN Enterprises LP's foothold in the industry. Anyways, I'm just reading through it here. There's definitely some connection too.
You said Icon bought B. Riley? Is that what you said?
On Monday, news broke that B. Riley Wealth Management had acquired ICANN Enterprises LP. The news was largely met with a positive reaction. ICANN stock opened. I'm just trying to get the exact.
What date was that?
This can't be right. January 1st, 2023.
Someone in the chat here running wild says Jake is a babe and smart. Right on.
Wow, thank you.
All right, cool. So we have Jake back with us. Jake, what do you think about those bonds, man? So Sixth Street just entered with those 300 million 2028 bonds. Tell me how it makes sense.
Okay. So, first, what did I miss when I was gone?
I was just asking the guys their thoughts on what you were kind of sharing with everybody and just kind of in general some of the stuff. Yeah, just some small
And does everybody think I'm an idiot or where are we at?
No, man. People are hyping you up in the chat. People are losing their shit, man. They're very interested, man.
I'm a bit jaded because of people responding to me.
No. You have to remember the difference, Jake. There's shills and there's actual real people. The real people are actually in this chat right now. These are real fucking people here. I don't know how many people on Reddit messaging you are bots or even bad actors that are talking shit. In my opinion, we've had a lot of support for you to get you on the show, and the PP subreddit loves you too, man. So you have to just remember the main Bed Bath subreddit. You just have to be a little careful with because they're not as heavy as we are in terms of banning, the outright shills that come in. So just keep that in mind, man. You are a guest here tonight. And a lot of people really want to hear what you have to say. They're all very, very into what you're saying, man. So just keep
thank you guys. I really appreciate it. That's a real nice pat on the back, especially with all the nonsense that we've been flinging away from other people.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
The bond thing is really compelling, just because the numbers line up, right? So I read into that prospectus. And so they had a draft that they released the night before, and then the following day they just kind of gave the numbers where you would fill in where they left blanks. But the most interesting document was that prospectus they had filed from the night before, and they kind of gave some insights of what they're doing. So they sold that bond just to be able to pay down a line of credit, and then they want to reuse that line of credit for more kind of purchases and investing and sort of thing. But the most interesting thing that came out to me out of that SEC filing that they had was that they admit that they are speculative, kind of high risk, super high reward players. And that really reassured me that they have the top position in super priority here with the debt, because they obviously see something. And, they're going to have a lot more information than the general public will as well, right? So I think the fact that they've been involved since as early as August, kind of coinciding with the Cohen supposed sale. So August 31st, I think, is the first time they released some information confirming, or Bed Bath maybe released a press release. So they've been around for a while, right? And so to continually be injecting capital is very reassuring, because, I mean, if you're going to just sink your ship, I think you just kind of sit around and wait as a note holder, right? Like as a bond holder. But if you want to establish control, obviously there's a play to be made. And so it was really interesting. I think too, the rate on the bond, I'm not too familiar with them, but it seems pretty good. And so I did read in that filing too that JP Morgan and Bank of America, actually Bank of America is the main one, and then JP Morgan is like a secondary one. Yeah. They bought the entire thing. So they took it right away, and then they're going to make like arbitrage on it. So they'll sell it at market price a little bit higher than they acquired it for, or maybe they want to keep some for themselves. But the Sixth Street got the entire 1.7. It's done. It says that in the SEC filing that they committed the entire thing to Bank of America and JP.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's interesting stuff.
I'll try to find that, actually. You know what? I'll find that SEC filing, because I'm
Okay,
saying
yeah.
a lot of shit, and if I can't back it up, that's going to be pretty lame.
No, I'd definitely love to see it. I just need to fix my screen real quick. Give me 1 second, fellas.
My ABC is when he's charging up with data.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Jake. You don't owe anyone anything, right? You can say.
Oh, thanks, man. That's, you know what? I just really enjoy chatting with folks that kind of have the same interest and mindset of wanting to just dive into this. I've discovered that I really enjoy solving puzzles through all this, because that's what all this really is, right? So yeah, I really enjoy having a crowd that really wants to hear what I have to say. At the end of the day, it is a lot of work putting all this stuff together, and I really enjoy doing it. So it's a nice cherry on top to have people that enjoy reading it too.
Yeah,
because I know some of them are really long, and
right.
I'm gonna have like a stream version that I'm gonna try to condense so that you don't have to spend half an hour going through all my
No, man. We like taking the time through it, man. Like we like when they're fucking lengthy, man. Salvatore with the $2. Great to have you on the team, Jake, with a pirate flag. Right on, man. Yeah, you get a lot of love
that's
for
high
here
praise.
tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, right on.
Okay,
People
so
said
can I
we
steal
love
the
the
screen for a second
DD.
again, or do you want me to send you the filing?
No, yeah. You can share the screen if you want.
Okay, so I'm gonna go right over here.
Yep.
To not that one and not that one. Oh, great. Where is it? This one. So the Edgar page. So I just put in 6th Street, and then the one that, because they have a lot of subsidiaries. So I just do that one that has their ticker. And then here you have the prospectus, which was the rate and the term of the bond. And then this one was the actual document that outlined everything. So it's like, oh no, I got that backwards. No, sorry. This is the short one. And then this one then is the long one. There we go. Okay, so this was the pretty long document where it said, and I'm going to find where it said, where is it here? Right there, underwriting. So here we go. So this little blurb right here. So subject to the terms and conditions, the underwriters have agreed severally and not jointly to purchase all of the notes sold under the underwriting agreement. And then, so yeah, so there you go. So they sold the entire thing.
So they're
this
completely
is actually a really
in
interesting
control.
document. It's the 424B5, and it's the second most recent document on the Edgar search.
So you're saying they already sold it?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Where was that? Yeah. It's gone. So right here in the table of contents of underwriting. So it lists everybody involved here. So this might be actually really interesting. So this is everyone that has participated in the underwriting of these notes.
Can you zoom in on it for us?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. My bad.
Perfect.
So you know what? I'll zoom in on the table, and then I'll go to the paragraph.
Okay. We also have Life Relationship with us backstage, so we'll welcome him in here in just a moment too, and he can join in on some conversation with us.
So this is actually the most interesting piece for me was right here.
Yeah.
So these guys have their fingers in every piece of the pie. So if these guys are listed here as an underwriter, that's a very, very close connection to the company itself. And this, I think, is even more compelling, or if not more than equally compelling to the dollar amount, to make it to say that this is kind of on the money, this is what it is.
What do you fellas think about it, man?
And then here, I'll just the other thing I want to note here is if my thing would zoom out and not be.
So it says JP Morgan's on there again now. Somehow it's like they were bought out, but then they bought back in.
Well, they could buy bonds, right?
These guys are serving as an underwriter. So this is JP Morgan Securities. So this is like their trading division.
Okay.
So they are acting as an underwriter for the bond, which basically, I mean, I don't know. Well, I think that means that they're just going to sell it to the market, right? Like I believe. So then here it says, subject, blah, blah, blah. They have agreed to purchase all of the notes sold under the underwriting agreement.
Wow. Real quick, Krickle with the $2. PP et al. Has it been confirmed IP is shared with Dream on Me? And we had another tip from Krickle with the $2. Appreciate the love. Confirmed it's joint, no trademarks, and MISC. Yeah. So someone also in all caps says, Jake, I'm pregnant.
Is it still shared, or did that expire July 31st, like a lot of people were saying?
I mean, I didn't see any expiry. I can pull it up though. It's $12.75.
Yeah.
I thought it had expiry of what, August 2028.
Okay.
Yeah. Why don't we also welcome?
It's 2028. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Why don't we also go ahead and welcome Life Relationship into the conversation with us? So, chat, please give a warm welcome, man, to Life Relationship. Life, man, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. We haven't seen you in a while.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. Good to see you. Also, Kriggle says it's shared per the PNS. All right, right on. So there we go. It is shared. Puts it to rest, man.
Okay.
So Life, man, we have Jake2B here with us tonight. Have you been reading a little bit of his DD lately, Life?
Well, I haven't had much time to go over Reddit posts. I mean, I've been busy with the filings.
Sure.
But I've been watching this conversation with Jake for the past maybe 15-20 minutes, and it's pretty interesting. I do have some questions for Jake.
Yeah.
Specifically, have you found any connection to Vinod Kapoor from Volaris Capital in any of these funds that you have been researching on that funded Sixth Street?
Yeah. So this is the guy that interned Jake Freeman, right?
Yeah.
So actually, this my focus for the lending and the research so far have been connections that start with primarily Sixth Street and how they are interconnected with the other lenders. But I'm going to make a note of that actually to see if there's any connections. I assume if you're asking, then you have some a lead for me to follow up on.
Well, I don't have a lead, but I mean, so one thing I do see right now is in this in the funds that have invested in the Philo and DIP. I so far did not see any connection to RC or even ICANN from what you found so far, right?
Well, God, you guys are gonna make me have to give everything away.
I mean, people will still read your post, man. Even if you talk about it here, everyone's going to reread it, and we're going to reread it again tomorrow as well, even if you write it tonight or tomorrow. So rest assured, everybody's going to read it again. That's for sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I directly no, and I think that's very intentional. I think the thing you have to remember, especially right now, it may have even derailed Plan A and gone into Plan B. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying it's speculatory, obviously, because we don't have access to all the information. Ryan Cohen, as his company, RC Ventures, was not fully dismissed from the pump and dump lawsuit like Sue was. So he had, I believe, one count tossed, but 3 of them stuck, I think. So I think it's very risky. And actually, this is the main crux of what I was talking about with Edwin when I mentioned that I had messaged Edwin asking if I should make this Ryan Cohen post, is because I can't come to terms with how he can still be involved with this company and take on the risk, right? Because I'm kind of trying to reason with myself that, if there's a possibility that you're being accused of this, maybe you'd want to keep your hands away, kind of wipe yourself clean from the situation. But then the thing that I can't also come to terms with and reason is, why is Ryan Cohen by name listed as the party in interest and not RC Ventures? And so I need to discover the limitations and exemptions that LLCs give you, because I suspect that the reason he is representing himself and by name is because he's a separate entity from RC Ventures. And since RC Ventures is being the one sued in the pump and dump lawsuit, I kind of concluded that he is free and clear to act on his own behalf as a person. And so there's a lot of proxy kind of first 1 degree of separation connections between both Ryan and Carl. Carl is really interconnected with the Proskauer law firm. They are super interconnected and interwoven with a lot of lenders. I also mentioned one of the underwriters on the DIP was 1903. 1903 is a subsidiary of Gordon Brothers, and Angelo Gordon is the founder of, or the son of the founder of Gordon Brothers. He's a party in interest as well. So Andrew Gordon is a party in interest. Gordon Brothers is one of his companies. Gordon Brothers, by their own description from the Malone Declaration, I believe it is, say that they are a syndicate of banks and lenders. So that I have a compelling reason as to why I think that they may be involved in some sort of capacity with Ryan, and there's a few good reasons for that. But again, it's as a proxy, and it is either intended to give Ryan direct, kind of space and a buffer because of this lawsuit, or because he doesn't want to telegraph what he's doing, or maybe he's not involved at all. I mean, really, I don't know. We're speculating, right? So the 1903 Partners is a subsidiary of Gordon Brothers, and specifically, they're one of the lenders, and they're on the dip. So that's my one degree of separation to Ryan Cohen. The Proskauer one with Carl, I can't remember as well off the top of my head, so I don't want to say anything because I don't want to fudge it and say some nonsense. But I will be going into it in the post I'm making in the part 2 about Ryan. But directly, no. But again, this is not out of character for either of them. Both of them have done this in the past.
Yeah, so I have also posted about Proskauer Rose's link to both ICANN and they are also representing the DIP lenders, right? So and also there was so Morgan Stanley is one of the bond custodians, the notes custodians, and
Yes.
GameStop uses Morgan Stanley as a brokerage. So, but those are kind of like, I mean, they are tinfoil. They are not guaranteed to show any connection, right? So, what you are researching right now about the parties involved in these funds is going to exactly show who exactly is involved. So far we have not seen any direct links to ICANN or RC.
Well, we've seen Ryan Cohen listed as a creditor, we've seen Ryan Cohen listed as a debtor, and we've seen him listed as an interested party. So I just I fail to understand how is he not listed anywhere, right? I mean, Carl Icahn definitely we haven't seen, but we've been speculating that Carl Icahn is involved in the deal via Sixth Street, right? We may even be speculating that for instance, Carl Icahn could have been behind as well as like the HBC subsidiary, things like that. And again, I think Jake makes a good point, right? I don't think that they really want to be seen flat out like in this deal if this is actually going down or if this is as big as it is. It would kind of make sense, for them to utilize vehicles to take over the company, right? And when I say that, it's like we see Dream on Me. Well, my biggest question in life has been like, how the fuck is Dream on Me a qualified bidder at all for Bye Bye Baby? First of all, right? They were the second qualified bidder that they went with, and to top it off, they don't even make that much money, man. Where did they even get $15 million to buy the IP, right? And then on top of that, they took on 11 leases. How the fuck are they going to run 11 leases by themselves? 100 employees. I mean, none of it makes sense unless, okay, there is someone invested into that company that is providing capital. That is the only way that would be possible, in my opinion. Also, Wabby93 with the PP Show membership. The tingle in my nuts. Thanks, Jake from State Farm. Right on.
Yeah, so
What do you think about that, Life? I mean, because these are questions we need to be asking, right? He's listed as a debtor, a creditor, interested party, all of these things going on. Dream on Me. I mean, you can't deny that something's off, Life.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Dream on Me being able to acquire the IP and the additional store leases definitely indicates that there's someone funding them for all these purchases, and also the store leases. When they take over the store leases, they also take over the liability of the payments, right? Monthly payments for those. So that definitely helps Bed Bath and Beyond. But I'm looking for something tangible. So I have second guessed myself based on the post that I had made because I'm looking for something tangible. So
Sure.
It's good to see that Jake is looking into those agreements for behind those funds, so we can find something tangible to see who really is involved with these funds that are behind the dip and Philo.
Right.
I know. I'm just going to jump in, guys, because Jake, one, kudos to you, my man. I think you've shown up at a perfect time. I've only been in this since January, and from all my reading, from kind of the old apes in here that have been around, a lot of them have really kind of slowed down. It's been a tiring journey for them. And you're like fresh blood, man. You just recently popped up and you're just crushing it almost on a daily and regular basis. And you're kind of taking over from some of those that have been tired out by this. And yet you're showing the respect to them, like Edwin and a lot of guys out there that have really kind of put their nose out and dig hard. So one, kudos to you for stepping at this perfect time. I believe you're well added to the community, my man.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I have maybe even a question, guys, because the B. Riley really interests me that you've kind of shown this, Jake. That to me is kind of one of those, ooh, there's something deeper here because of the H.B. Riley, the offering back with the ATM where he was basically running that. And then the 1 billion offering was for a representative of a third party. And I know they canceled the ATM once they hit bankruptcy and they can no longer do it under Chapter 11. And I know officially they canceled the 1 billion offering as well, but they didn't specifically say that they canceled it. They just said no shares were issued or something to that word. So I guess that's one of my questions is there some significance about that 1 billion offering with B. Riley that happened after the HBC deal? The next thing is that B. Riley Wealth is actually invested in IEP. He has shares in IEP, and B. Riley is also an activist shareholder investor by nature too. So that kind of fits with RC and ICANN as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway that I've had so far with regards to researching the lenders is how big of a player B. Riley is. So they are way, way, way more involved in in securities in general. Like, it's not just some guy that came out of nowhere. Like I remember vividly that when HBC was announced as having that lifeline for the company, that these guys are from out of nowhere. It's the outlook is so dreary that they had to pull up these guys from under the rug, and they're just going to sell and dilute and whatever. And none of it ever actually happened. And one of the things I speculate too that I'm going to save for the post is that Hudson and B. Riley are connected. They are. The SEC forms prove that. I don't remember off the top of my head what the connection is, but while I'm speaking, I'm trying to find the post I made that confirmed the float. Because the one thing that you touched on is, they announced the ATM and they announced that they were going to have assist the company. But in the one press release, I don't remember who it was, but I saved the clip. They basically said that they are taking all the shares. They're taking all the shares privately, and they're fronting the money as long as the price was where they wanted the price to be, but that the shares weren't going to the open market. So that's something that I won't be able to dig up on a moment's notice, but I have in my lender post. And the other thing is that when the bankruptcy was announced, the company made either an 8K or some sort of SEC filing. I posted it, but I can't remember where they confirmed that the shares outstanding were the 435 million. The float. The float was 435.
Yeah.
So the remainder was either in treasury or held privately by B. Riley, according to that article.
Yeah, and
I think you're talking about a docket that had voting shares. It was 428, I think, million. I think it was a docket that you're referring to on that one.
Okay, why can't I find the post? It was right there.
Mo Money with the $2 just joined. Is that Jake Freeman? No, it is not. It's not Jake Freeman. It's Jake2B.
There we go. I got it right here. Okay, so actually I quoted a press release by the company. So the post is from 10 days ago. I titled it TSO versus float. And I highlighted the piece which said, okay, so the first thing was the press release of the B. Riley offering, where she says, SuGov is quoted as saying, the company had a total of approximately 435 million shares of common stock issued and approximately 295 available for issuance. So available for issuance, as far as my understanding means in treasury. And then there was a docket at the day of bankruptcy or shortly after, which confirmed that the float remained at 435. The wording was really ambiguous. It was, we have 435 million voting shares at the time of filing. It was very peculiar
Right.
wording.
And weren't those originally kind of worked on by B. Riley for a third party?
That's the speculation, yeah, is that B. Riley took the shares, just like Bank of America and JP took Sixth Street's bond note to distribute themselves on the market, and they absorbed the entire thing. It was a parallel move that B. Riley did with the company, where B. Riley took all of the shares, and then they were going to decide if they were going to sell any of them at any point in the future or hold them. And then the company issues a statement in a docket that the float or the voting shares remain at 435 million. And then B. Riley, being one of these guys that has so many subsidiaries, it's hard to keep up with. But B. Riley Capital Management has an SEC filing dated on May 16th where they state that they own 24 million shares. So if they own 24 million shares on May 16th, they still have them now because I believe that would put them at 4.5%. Again, I'm not a mathematician, but if they are at 4.5%, they can't move those shares without formally requesting it from the judge.
So real quick, we'll let Life respond to that. Noah also says, wait, there are 739 million shares and 435 million float, leaving 304 million shares, which is the exact same number as GME shares. Interesting stuff.
That's a coincidence.
That has to be.
That's just a coincidence.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, you never know, right? Life, go ahead, man. However you want to respond to that.
Yeah, so so the May 15th data of 24 million shares is from HBC.
Oh, sorry.
So
okay,
HBC
thank
in
you.
the 13F.
Well, that I think that's even more interesting if they're still holding those shares. So that I think that confirms that they were acting as a proxy.
In their next 13F filing, which is due by, that will be a good confidence booster for us. I mean that they have confidence in those shares not getting wiped out, right? So the other thing is that the shares held by B. Riley that you were saying that they don't plan to sell or something of that sort. That was that language was used for the committed equity financing, CEF, that was supposed to be provided by BRPC2, B. Riley Principal Financial 2.
Oh yeah.
And that part of the deal did not commence. So before the Chapter 11 filing.
And that was, I think, the core of the speculation as to why the TSO was, or why Seed owned more than the shares outstanding, was because they had counted on those shares, right? And then the S3 or the S1 was pulled.
No, yeah. So that was always incorrect. I mean, so it was not. It was never related to the B. Riley, the shares that were sold as part of the B. Riley ATM offering being recalled. None of that happened. So it is because of. I mean, that difference could be because of the shares that were expected to be sold by HBC were not, in fact. They did not, in fact, enter the float. So I have some data in one of my posts showing that HBC was still holding on to a lot of their preferred shares, which they hadn't converted to common shares. So, and there is a financial reason behind that, because in the agreement, if the company had to file for bankruptcy, like it has done, then those preferred shares can be redeemed back by HBC for cash. So there is data indicating that irrespective of what Wall Street Journal or the mainstream media was saying, that HBC is selling those shares, that was actually the downward pressure on the share price was because of actually shorting, not because of HBC selling it.
Real quick, emotional damage with the 2. What the fuck is happening? Are we not talking about objection? Yes, we will get into the life's objection today as well. Emotional damage. No worries, man. Lackluster beverage with the $5 tip. Appreciate the love. Jake, call your wife's boyfriend back and ask if you can come back next week. All right on. Everybody loves you here, man. So
Thanks, man.
Awesome. So we do also have Realize with us as well, so he can join in this conversation with us. So chat, please give a warm welcome to Realize. All right, Real, nice to see you, man. Can we get a mic check?
Can you hear me?
All right, yeah, we can hear you, man. Cool, right on. All right, cool. Welcome to the show, man. So I guess Life, if you wanted to expand on any of that, or Jake, if you wanted to respond to anything that Life said there with HBC, or if you don't have an opinion on it, I'll take it to you, man.
Well, I'll finish with one interesting piece that I have, again, going back to the lenders, is that HBC is listed as an interested party in docket 345, which was very curious, alongside Ryan Cohen by name, and gosh, not Morgan Stanley, whatever the other one was, but Hudson Bay very much remains involved in this company, I believe. And when that SEC disclosure comes out, I would expect that they still hold that position.
Right.